What's going on, guys? Today, I want to talk about the 7 biggest mistakes that you might be making when you're using online dating apps that could be sabotaging your chances of finding love. Now, before we get started, 2 quick things. Number 1, these are geared towards people who are looking for more serious relationships. So if you're looking for super casual, these probably won't be that applicable to you. And number 2, none of these are designed to make you feel bad or make you think that you're doing something horribly wrong. Online dating is very new to a lot of people, or you don't really get training in it in school or anything like that. So you're going to make mistakes, but hopefully this video you can see it as constructive criticism. You can take a non-egotistical look at your profile and find some opportunities here to make some improvements. So with the paperwork and disclaimers out of the way, let's jump into it. I got my list ready. All right, number 1 is lack of effort. You are going to get out of online dating what you put into it. And the big reason for that is that when you don't put a lot of effort into specifically your profile, other people are going to look at that and they're going to assume that you're a lazy person or that you're not committed to the process. And I know it sounds harsh and it's probably not true, but the problem is perception is reality when it comes to online dating. And so they're going to see this incomplete profile, 1 photo loaded, and they're going to go, either it's a spam profile, they're not real, or they're not committed to this, so I'm not going to waste my time and send a message to them. So make sure you're taking the time to completely fill out your profile and put some actual effort into it. We're not just checking boxes here, right? Make sure you're uploading several great high quality photos, which we'll talk about more in a minute. And then when you're sending messages, make sure you're sending quality messages and taking the time to craft well thought out thoughts, basically. And again, we'll talk about that more. But the big takeaway here is put effort into the process, because if you don't, you should not expect to get any results. And number 2, what we kind of alluded to just a second ago, is bad pictures. And there are really 2 kind of things we got to look at when it comes to pictures. Number 1 is kind of the check the box logistical type mistakes that people make. And then the second is the storytelling aspect of it. And so we'll start with the logistical stuff. If you have all blurry photos, if your photos are horribly cropped where like you see like just this much of your face, if they're taken from weird angles, up, down, things like that, or they're taken where you're so far away that they can't even see you, or you're in a group of 30 people and it's not clear who you are, or you only have 1 photo, right? These are logistical mistakes with photos that are going to make people not want to reach out to you, because when somebody's looking at your profile and they're looking at your photos, they're looking to feel some sort of an initial connection. And a lot of people are visual, right? And so if they're reading your profile and they're looking at your photos and they're not feeling that connection because you only have 1 photo or you have terrible photos, it's just not going to happen, and they're not going to send you a message. So make sure you take the time to have current, high quality, well thought out photos. And touching on high quality, it doesn't mean you need to go out and buy some $5,000 camera or go hire a professional photographer or anything like that. Smartphones these days are basically professional cameras. So get a friend, head to a park, head somewhere nice, and just say, hey, can you snap a few photos of me? And get them involved. And if they're your friend, like, they're not going to make fun of you or give you a hard time. They're going to support you and help you take those photos. The second aspect of bad photos is storytelling. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen a profile where it's like, if there's 5 photos, it's like photo 1, photo 2, photo 3, photo 4, photo 5, right? It's the same photo over and over and over again. And it's just their face or just kind of like their upper half of their body. And while, yes, great, this shows who you are, it doesn't show who you are, right? It doesn't tell a story about you. So let's say you're somebody who's really athletic, right? Why not take a picture of you doing something athletic? Or if you're someone who loves to be outdoors, why not have a picture of you while you're camping or something like that? So think about each photo and think about the story that it tells, and make sure that it is telling a story that's in line with who you are and the type of person you're trying to meet. So number 3, and this is also a profile one, things that you shouldn't talk about. I understand that a lot of people have had tough past relationships. They have exes that they wish they would never see again. Or there's a lot of baggage and things that have happened in your past, and that's okay, right? That's made you who you are. The problem is if you stick that on your dating app profile and that's one of the first things that somebody learns about you, it's going to make them think that you're not over that baggage, right? That you're still dealing with it. So it might make you feel good to put on there, I'm not going to date anyone who's a cheater or who does, runs around on me or whatever. Like, I'm a strong man or woman. I don't stand for that, right? It might make you feel good. It might make you think that that's going to deter those types of people from contacting you. But most likely what it's going to do is the good people are going to look at that and say, they need to work through some stuff personally. And so they're not going to message you. And the people who do want to take advantage of people are going to say, easy target, right? So make sure that you're not giving too much information, right? These are things that you can eventually share down the line after you've got to know them, but these are not things that should be square one, front and center on your profile. Number 4, lying. There's a couple things here. So first of all, it's never good to lie, period, right? I think most of us can probably agree with that. But I think what a lot of people miss when it comes to dating apps and dating app profiles is, what is your goal, right? And a lot of people, they say, how can I get more messages? How can I get more dates? And the problem is that's not your actual goal, right? Your actual goal is to find someone that you are compatible with, to find the person who's compatible with you, the real you. So maybe if you put up a bunch of doctored photos and you lie about what you do for a living and you add a foot to how tall you are and all this sort of stuff, is that going to get you more dates and more messages? Probably. But is it going to help you get any closer to finding the person you're compatible with? Absolutely not. It's actually going to get you further away because it's going to be wasting your time. Because here's the thing, you are eventually going to have to see this person in person, right? You're going to have to go out with them. And once they see that you haven't been truthful with them, they are going to be out that door so fast. And one of the things that I hear people say, and I can understand the logic here, but I'm going to share why it's not good, is, well, I'm not going to share this, with them because once they get to know me, they're going to think, they'll have a connection. And then when I share this with them, then they'll be much more willing to get over it or get past it. The problem is, maybe that sounds good in theory, but it never works out that way at all. What ends up happening is the response is, you lied to me. But because you drug it out, it's not just you lied to me, it's you lied to me for this long. Usually ends up in you never seeing them again. And again, more time wasted, more heartache. So tell the truth on your profile. All right. So the last 3 basically that I want to get to are more about you and how you conduct yourself in online dating. And real quick, before I get into those, if you're enjoying this content, if you like hearing about dating and relationships, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have your support, and I'd love to be able to continue sharing information like this with you. So let's get to it. Number 5, low effort messages. There is this thought that online dating is a numbers game. And I think to some respect, it absolutely is a numbers game. But you can't treat it that way, right? You can't say, I'm going to take this cookie cutter message and I'm going to cut this name out, put this name in, and send it 400 times today. The problem is that when you do that, right, it shows, right? There's no real connection there. And you're also burning opportunities to have meaningful conversations with somebody, right? So if you send that crummy cookie cutter message that you didn't put any effort in, and then later you realize, wow, I did this to 400 people and it didn't work. Let me go back now. Now that's 400 people that you can't send a quality message to. So if you're not sure what to say in a message, not sure how to reach out to someone, again, make sure you check out our channel because we do a lot of videos on this and we have several planned coming up with some very specific thoughts on how to send great messages. So make sure you're checking that out. Big takeaway though is you're going to want to be putting some effort into your messages. Number 6, using low quality dating apps. You can do everything right? And you can have the best profile, the greatest photos and all this. But if you are on a crummy dating app or a dating app that's a ghost town and there's no one there, or it's the wrong type of people that you're looking for, doesn't matter how perfect you are, how well you do with the process, you are just not going to succeed, period. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because we talk about this a lot on the channel. And if you are looking for a great dating app, I will include a link to our best dating apps video in the description box below. 100% recommend you check that out. But the big takeaway is make sure that you're using quality dating apps. And the last one here, and I saved the best and probably the most important one for last, is having unrealistic expectations. I think a lot of people think that, all right, I tried dating in real life, didn't work. I'm going online because I've heard the stories, seen the movies, and I'm gonna message a few people in the morning, fall in love by the afternoon, and by dinner time, I'm gonna be planning my wedding with the man or woman of my dreams. And I've talked to people who have that mentality, and I say, hey, look, it's just not how it is. And they go, oh, I get it. Yeah, I get it. So what are you saying? It's going to be like a couple days, maybe like a week. And the reality of it is that it might be, I mean, I guess you could find someone that fast. It does happen. But the reality is that it's going to be a couple weeks, a couple months, or it might even be like a year or a couple years, because you're not picking out a new pair of pants or some new dress to wear, right? You're trying to find somebody to spend your time with, right? To invest your emotions into and potentially spend the rest of your life and maybe even raise children with, right? That is going to take some time. Is online dating effective? Absolutely. Does it help you meet people that you wouldn't have otherwise? Absolutely. But you have to approach it with the correct expectations that it's going to take time, and you can't allow yourself to get jaded through the process. The biggest thing that I see is I see people, they go on, they send a few messages, or they talk to a couple of people, or maybe they go on a few dates. It doesn't work out. And then they're just like, oh, this stinks. Oh, I guess I'll just keep doing it, right? And then every message after that is, hey, what's up? This stinks, but whatever, I'm still trying, right? Or their profile says something like that. And then obviously those conversations don't work out. The results get worse. And it's this cycle that just continues. And then you get more jaded, more angry. And so you have to have these expectations that it's going to take some time, and that you're going to have to put in effort, and you are going to send a lot of messages and people aren't going to respond. I'll tell you something interesting that a lot of people don't realize is that most dating apps won't allow you to respond to a message unless you're a premium member. But most dating apps also don't tell you who premium members are. And what the data says is that about 15% of people at any point in time are paying premium members of a dating app. And so even if, let's just say it was higher than that for conversation's sake, let's say it's 20%, right? And you send 10 messages out, that means of those 10 messages, only 2 of them actually have the ability to respond. So, if let's say half of the people are interested in you, but maybe those 5 happen to be the ones who don't have premium, you're going to get no responses. And, if you extrapolate that out, right, you send 20 messages and, between, 1.5, 2, or 4 people are the only ones who can respond and nobody else can. You see where I'm getting at here is you have to realize the landscape that you're working with, and you have to stay positive through that process. So we'll do another video in the future where we talk a lot more about expectations. But again, the big takeaway here is that it is a fantastic way to meet people, and there's so many great stories that have come out of it, but it takes time. It doesn't work for everyone, and you need to be patient with the process and continue to put in effort and stay positive. So again, these are what I would call the 7 biggest mistakes that you can make when using dating apps. And if you can work through these, you are going to greatly increase your chances to find love. And again, if you're looking for a great dating app, that's something we cover very extensively here on this channel. I've got that video to the best dating apps linked for you below. And again, if you're enjoying this content, you want to support the channel, you want to hear more of it, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. It does so much. And make sure you share in the comments which of these 7 you feel like is the most important. Thanks, and have a great day.